My name is Sarah, and I never believed that an innocent evening could unravel the very fabric of my existence. It was supposed to be a simple celebration, a quiet gathering to toast my promotion at work. Friends and family crowded into my cozy apartment, laughter filling the air like a welcome perfume. But as the night progressed, I would discover that trust could be as fragile as glass. It was around 8 p.m. when my childhood friend, Lexi, announced that she had a surprise for me. "Sarah, you know I love you," she declared, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "But I have something you need to see." The laughter dulled into a murmur of curiosity as she pulled out her phone, swiping through photos as her beautifully manicured nails caught the light. I leaned in, expecting to see a cute picture or a funny meme. Instead, her voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper. "I found this. A little birdie told me you should know." My heart sank as her screen illuminated the image. My boyfriend, Tom, wrapped in an embrace with another woman. The woman wasn't just anyone. It was Claire, my closest friend. The betrayal hit me like a freight train, knocking the breath from my lungs. I was supposed to feel joy, but instead, waves of nausea rolled through my stomach like a tumultuous sea. "Lexi, this can't be real," I stammered, a mix of disbelief and dread flooding my veins. "It can't be." I could hear the throbbing beat of my heart roaring in my ears, muffled sounds of my friends chatting, oblivious to the gathering storm. Lexi's phone buzzed again, showing an Instagram post. It was recently uploaded, timestamped just 2 hours before. Tom's face beamed up at me, clearly not a care in the world, all while he was supposed to be at my party, celebrating our future. "I don't want to believe it either, Sarah," Lexi said, her voice softening, "but it looks pretty damn real to me." In a flash, the atmosphere shifted. The room was warm and inviting a heartbeat ago, but now it felt like the walls were closing in. I wanted to scream, to rage, but what came out was more subdued. "I need to get some air," I said, my voice trembling. The balcony was a sanctuary, the cool night air wrapping around me like a balm. I leaned over the railing, staring into the churning darkness, feeling utterly unmoored. My thoughts spiraled in on themselves like trapped birds, desperate for escape. The man I thought I knew, the woman I trusted, everything felt like a nightmare playing out in slow motion. The deafening silence hung around me until I felt a presence beside me. It was Lexi, her hand resting softly on my back. "You're not alone, okay?" she reassured me. "You deserve the truth. You deserve to confront him." I took a deep breath, her words igniting a flicker of defiance within me. I couldn't just stand by and allow this betrayal to swallow me whole. "You're right," I said, my voice steadier now. "I need to confront them both." Returning inside, I made my way through the crowd, the laughter and chatter a distant hum. I scanned the room for Tom, searching his face for any signs of deception. He was engaged in conversation, completely unaware of the tempest brewing around him. "Tom," I called, my voice cutting through the noise like a knife. He turned, smile fading the moment he noticed the look on my face. "We need to talk. Now." His eyes widened just slightly as I led him to a quieter corner. Lexi trailed behind, a silent guardian waiting for the inevitable fallout. "What's going on, Sarah?" he asked, feigning confusion that only fueled my anger. "Don't play dumb with me," I snapped, slapping Lexi's phone onto the table between us. "Who is she?" Tom's face blanched as the photo glared back at him. I can explain," he stuttered, panic setting in. "Explain what?" I countered, my heart pounding in my chest. "How long have you been lying to me? How long have you been lying to us?" His silence spoke volumes, and I could sense Lexi's presence tensing beside me, mere seconds from stepping in. "You didn't even have the decency to break it off before you moved on," I continued, trying to bury the jagged edge of pain with furious resolve. "I thought it was just a stupid fling," he said, voice lowering as if giving himself a reprieve. "It was nothing. Nothing." My voice broke, defiance threatening to crumble under the weight of betrayal. "You think this is nothing? Did you think I wouldn't find out? That my best friend would keep your secret?" His eyes darted over to Lexi, a mix of embarrassment and anger crossing his features. "I didn't mean for this to happen. No more excuses," I shouted, my frustration spilling over. The room quieted for a moment, all eyes shifting toward us. "You don't get to define what's nothing, when I'm the one standing here, heartbroken, while you waltzed around with her." Lexi stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. "Tom, how could you do this to someone who loved you, to someone who trusted you?" "I was confused," he nearly shouted back, desperation cracking through. "You don't understand. What I don't understand is how you could betray a promise," I retorted, feeling every inch of heartbreak transform into strength. "I'm a good person, Tom. I deserved better." He shrank back, realizing the weight of his actions. What do you want me to say, Sarah? I didn't mean for it to go this far. I shook my head, firm in my resolve. I want you to know that I'm done. This is the end of us. As those words left my mouth, a bolt of unexpected relief coursed through my veins. I was free. Then, before I turned to walk away, I added, and Claire, I hope she realizes that she's merely second choice. With that, I left him staring blankly, his mask of control melting away. As we stepped out of the apartment building, Lexi's relief mirrored my own. The cool night air enveloped us, a soft reminder of the burden lifting. Let's get out of here, she said, wrapping an arm around my shoulder. I was still in shock, but under the weight of heartbreak came the promise of new beginnings. With every step away from that betrayal, I felt stronger, lighter. Climbing inside Lexi's car, I finally took a breath, my heart echoing with what I had just done. The pain of the evening would stay with me, but I was no longer defined by it. Days turned into weeks, and the aftershocks of the night echoed through my life. I spent time with Lexi, rediscovering aspects of myself I had neglected. I took long walks in the park, revisited old hobbies, threw myself into work, and slowly the nutrients of healing began to seep in. Months later, I found myself sitting at a coffee shop, the aroma of fresh brews swirling in the air. I watched the people pass by, each one a story of their own. For the first time since that dreadful night, I felt like I could breathe, truly breathe. And that's when I saw Claire approaching the shop with her head held low. She spotted me, and I could see the guilt etched across her face. I surprised myself by not feeling any anger. Rather, I felt a fleeting glimpse of gratitude. As she neared, I gestured for her to sit. You need to understand something, I began, calm and collected. What you did hurt me beyond words, but I won't let it define me. Tears gathered in her eyes, and for a moment I thought she might speak. Instead, a soft nod was all she managed. I sensed the pain of her own remorse, and in that moment a fragile thread of empathy formed between us. Can I ask you something? She finally murmured, almost hesitantly. Sure, I replied, curious. Did he say anything when you broke it off? I shook my head, the sting of their betrayal still fresh. He tried to save himself, but that ended the moment he chose you over me. That night felt like a quiet storm passing, leaving clarity in its wake. Walking away from the table, I realized that I could finally close the chapter on that part of my life. Both Tom and Claire were behind me, colored stories drifting into the past. Now, life stretched before me like the wide-open sky, filled with possibilities. I was ready to bloom. As time went on, I focused on my own growth, surrounding myself with supportive souls, harnessing my strengths and rekindling forgotten dreams. Months after our reunion, I moved to a new city. I found a vibrant community brimming with creativity. I dabbled in painting, poured my heart into writing, and embraced life with open arms. Finally, I stood before a canvas in my new studio, brush in hand, the colors swirling vividly in front of me. I spilled emotions onto that canvas, depicting a phoenix rising from the ashes, colors merging into something beautiful. Reflection turned into healing, and I smiled at what I had become. I discovered that we are often defined not by the pain we face, but by how we rise from it. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. Have you ever discovered the strength to rise from betrayal? Let me know in the comments below. If this resonated with you, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and a subscription to feel a part of this community. Remember, every ending paves the way for a brand new beginning. Until next time.